Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Shelly and today I'm going to talk about dulcamara. So this is a very special remedy for me specifically because in my initial days of practice, when I used to practice this remedy or prescribe this remedy was mostly on the particulars and the physical generals of the remedy like cold aggravation, damp weather aggravation, better by dry air, etc. But as I grew with my practice, I started understanding the mind of this remedy, and the prescription on the mentals have given me great success that showed that dulcamara is not only just a remedy for cold and cough, or it is not just a remedy which is cold damp weather, but it is more than that. Believe me, the mentals of this remedy are so strong. If once we understand, we will not miss this remedy. And many times we have skipped this remedy prescribing other remedies because it is very similar to many of the polycrystal. So let us start with this remedy dulcamara. So the common name of this remedy is bittersweet nightshade. We know it is from Solanaceae family. Just remember this word bitter shade to understand dulcamara. So this remedy's mind, which I'm going to share with you, will be through understanding the plant and some tips which I'll be sharing with you how to remember this remedy and compare with some other materia medica remedies. So just remember the word bittersweet. So this word has two things, bitter and sweet. So also this remedy has two shades at the mental level, bitter and sweet shades. So going ahead, let us understand where exactly this plant grows, what is the nature of this plant, which will again help us to memorize some of the modalities of this plant. So this plant, dulcamara, grows specifically in damp and shady places. They do not want much of light and they need damp weather. The soil has to be marshy, it has to be damp, and the twigs or the branches are very delicate, and this plant once get a support will start rising above. They need a support, and once they are so fast growing as if they are very hurried and impatient. So these tips will help you to understand again the dulcamara plant. Just remember it. In olden days, this plant dulcamara was used by witchcrafts, and specifically it was used to protect against the evil powers of witchcrafts. And in Greeks, this plant was used. The people used to tie the plant to the animals so that they can protect them from evil eye. The plant is basically a very deadly poison. It doesn't affect birds much, but they do affect the humans. So to sum up, I'll give you a small hint or a summary of this plant dulcamara. So just remember, this plant or this remedy is one of the most dominating and dictatorial remedy of our materia medica. Like we may skip it, we may think she's a platina or a lycopodium because their dominance and arrogance is equivalent to a platina remedy. She can be so arrogant, she can be so dominating. When the patient talks, she talks with an air of command. Like she'll be she will just try to order everyone as if she's the boss. And the most important part to differentiate her domination or dictatorial nature or air of command from Platina is Platina will show the tantrums or air of command to people around her, to her servant or to another friend or maybe to her maid, anyone. But this remedy dulcamara will speak with air of command specifically to people who are very close to her. She cannot show this nature to people who are not very close to her. So people who are closely associated, like for example the patient's husband or sister or the patient's wife or brother or a best friend. So with them she will talk with air of command, and to people other than who are very close she's very sweet in talking. So we again have a rubric affectionate for this remedy. So this remedy is also very affectionate, and this remedy is very dictatorial. Dictatorialness is towards her closed relations, closed people, and affectionate is towards people who are not very close to her. Yes, of course, she is affectionate with her loved ones also, but she is more dominating. Now, again comes why she is so dominating, why she is so dictatorial. She is so dominating and dictatorial is because, she is very family oriented remedy. Dull Camera is one of the most family oriented person, one of the most helpful person in our materia medica. But to whom she helps, her family or be it friends, she is very dominating over those people. She wants them to listen to her. She wants them to obey her commands. This makes her very angry if people do not listen to her or obey her. So we have a rubric that she is very angry person and she is inclined to quarrel with lot of anger. So the family may say that this woman, she is very quarrelsome. She fights over little things, and when she fights, she becomes very abusive. So this is one of the most abusive remedy of a materia medica. See, so simple to understand. One of the most dominating and dictatorial remedy. This remedy will always talk with air of command. To differentiate with Platina, we know that Platina will talk with everyone, but she will talk only with her loved ones. Also, with arrogance, she has a lot of love and affection towards her near and dear ones. She is one of the most family oriented person. She is a very angry person. She has lots of anxiety. Before any task, she shows a lot of anxiety. She has anxiety of health. She has anxiety of health about others. She has anxiety when she's meeting new people. She's one of the most anxious. She's one of the most hurried remedy for materia medica. She is better when she's busy. She always likes to be busy. She's busy, she's hurried, she's impatient, and she's one of the most fault finding remedy. But her fault finding nature is only towards her relations, towards her close relations. Okay, and she always likes a change in her life. She cannot have the monotonous life, or she cannot have a life which is having the same routine. She has change, and this desire for change is aggravated specifically when no one listens to her. Like, she tries to throw her tantrum, she is defiant, she is disobedient, she wants people to follow her, and when people are not following her commands, this patient becomes abusive, she becomes very violent on slight contradiction, and then she goes into a state of despair, and then she needs change, and also she needs change in her life. Whenever anyone contradicts her, she becomes morose. She doesn't tolerate contradiction. She can be very vivacious and possessive like Lachesis. So, again, this picture somewhere is like Lachesis. Lachesis, she is loquacious like Lachesis. She is very possessive like Lachesis. And she's very violent on contradiction. So these are some of the mental symptoms of dulcamara to understand. Whenever you prescribe, do not skip this symptom. So whenever a patient comes and you think, oh, she Lachesis, or she's a combination of dominance like Lycopodium platina, her loquacity and possessiveness like Lachesis, you can think of dulcamara as one of the remedy. And I've seen these patients, specifically these patients are very attractive and good looking. They're very beautiful. Their dressing sense is very nice, and these people don't easily share their belongings. So I remember a case where a woman, she consulted me for her severe degenerative disc. She had herniation of her disc and she had extreme pains. Her pains were unbearable. So as her pain started, she started abusing, and only to her husband, because she wanted him to follow her commands. And she became so abusive, like, she becomes so abusive, she becomes blue, she becomes her like there's a lot of violence seen in her eye like belladonna. When the husband doesn't listen to her command, she wants him to understand her commands. And when she was talking to me, I felt she was like a phosphorus. She's so friendly, she's so affectionate, so caring. And when I asked her husband what is her nature, he said she's very abusive, she's very quarrelsome. So, sometimes consulting with patients' relative is also equally important for us, because patients will not always speak about their innermost content. They are not aware how important it is for us. Also, I've seen in dulcamara, the children specifically, when I've prescribed dulcamara to children, in most of the children I've prescribed in urinary complaints. So you look at the children, they're very cute looking, They are always restless, busy, they do not share their belongings, and they're very dominating. Though she is a younger child, she will be dominating towards her elder sister or sibling. Now, let us move from mind to the physical symptoms. So, to understand dull camera at physical level, you have to understand one thing and remember one thing: cold, damp, aggravation. So all the complaints of dull camera, be it skin, muscles, joint, respiration, they are aggravated with cold, damp weather. From weather turning from hot to cold, specifically when the swift of weather from hot to cold is sudden swift of weather from hot to cold, or damp wet weather aggravates, right? So we remember, do you remember I spoken about this plant grows in marshy land? So this plant is aggravated in marshy. Marshy is dampness. So these people are aggravated in damp. The skin is so sensitive and delicate of this patient that even slight exposure of cold will give eruptions, urticaria. Change of weather aggravation, damp characteristic of the remedy. So if you find that a patient has aggravation from change of weather, and this domination, this aggression, this affection, this quarrelsomeness, this abusiveness, think of dull camera. Again, hot days to cold night, rashes before menses, increased sexual desire before menses is again a grand characteristic of this remedy. Another important remedy is symptom is suppression of menses from cold and dampness. This patient has increased salivation. Always the patient will complain, whenever I get cough, cold, there are skin rashes or urticaria. Think of dull camera. Also, whenever you have history of suppressed perspiration or suppressed eruptions, and the pathology develops into paralysis or respiratory complaint or any other complaint, think of dull camera as a remedy. Now to sum up, this remedy, the sphere of action of this remedy is on cerebrospinal system, which causes convulsions and paralysis. There is paralysis of the tongue. It has tendency towards paretic condition. Then it acts on mucous membrane everywhere, be it bladder, be it your respiratory tract, be it a GIT tract, which increases the secretion, right? And aggravation has to be damp weather. Kidneys, it increases blood pressure, you see albuminuria and cataract. Skin, we have understood, erythema, urticaria, vesicular eruption, again cold damp weather has to be there. Serous membrane rheumatoid affections, again damp weather aggravation, and they are better by dry air and better by movements. So this is about dull camera. It is a beautiful remedy, and I hope you will use in your practice, and do send me your feedbacks how useful this remedy was, and did you ever prescribe this remedy after understanding the mental state of this remedy. Thank you for today.